Welcome to my movie review of X-Men The Last Stand. I don't know what this is for, but what can I say about this movie that was directed by Brett Ratner, not Bryan Singer this time, because Bryan Singer was busy with Superman Returns. Stop it. He was busy with Superman Returns in the year 2006 when this movie came out, so it makes sense of why he would step away. But we still have the original cast at least, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Famke Jensen, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. If I butchered that, I apologize. And Halle Berry. And Kelsey Grammer, perfect for Beast. Amazing casting. Perfect casting. Um, this movie is the continuation of the first two movies we've seen beforehand, and since Bryan Singer is not here for the movie or did not direct, it's going to be a little bit different. Hence why, for me, I feel like the title would have been like X3, X-Men Divided, because one, Jean is on the bad side. We have a lot of members who die, and it feels more intertwined with what Bryan Singer would have done with the title, but they went with Last Stand. And speaking of what Bryan Singer would have done with the movie, things with how the movie handles the look of the mutants and how they feel, apart from with the not pressure, the judgment from humans. They continue that because now there's a cure for the mutant disease. So that's one big plot point of the movie. And this movie also handles the whole big war between mutants and humans. And it also fully brings us the Dark Phoenix storyline that was teased in the last movie at the end. Now that Jean Grey has returned, because the Phoenix, power was pretty much what saved her from dying from the water. That's what's taken over at that point. But I love me some Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Pause. I love the characters even still. I'm so glad this group of characters got a third movie. Sometimes we don't get third movies for some of these characters or any comic book characters, unfortunately. But I'm glad we at least got a third movie here, even if there's a different director. And honestly, I always like this movie. I know that it's not as good. I know it's, a little bit of a comic-y tone with a little bit more quips. Some characters will say quips. I'm like, they shouldn't be. It just seems off. Why are these characters saying quips when they shouldn't be? It just betrays the tones of the first two. But that's pretty much in terms of betrayal, tone betrayal, you could call it. But in terms of the action, everything's good. The music's good, the action's good, pacing I feel like was pretty good. It was pretty short, an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, I don't remember what the run times of the first two movies were, but this movie was fairly short. But my gut's telling me that the other two movies were just about short as well. But the Angel was really cool to see. His wings were beautiful, clean, amazing, just pristine. It was beautiful. I love the plot point with Rogue getting the cure too, since it makes sense why she would get it, because she can't touch anyone, she can't kiss anyone, she can't do anything without wearing gloves. I'm like, why don't you just get the plastic? There's plastic, like a layer of plastic you can wear on lips, and then you can kiss Bobby, just like freaking Batman and Robin, where Robin had that when he freaking kissed Poison Ivy. Is that not a thing anymore? But apart from that, it's for the story. But it makes sense why she would get the cure, and it makes sense on how, some characters who don't really have a issue with fitting in, they can go to any place like the supermarket and be like all good. But some people can't do that. Some people are like, as soon as people see them, they're like, oh, I don't want to be near them. They'll probably just be told to leave, or the cops will be called on them. Rogue, she just can't touch anyone, so it makes sense how she would want to get the cure. But this was a really good continuing Jean, Pyro on the bad side, continuing with, Eric Magneto and Charles with Jean, with that flashback at the beginning with the freaking CGI Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. But I do still think that the movie could have been, if the movie was directed by Bryan Singer, was a little bit on the serious edge, just like the first two movies, just a little bit, that would have made the tone more like the first two movies. Since those are successful movies, it makes sense to have the coherent line continue But what we have is a line with the first two movies, and then now you have this at the end, you know? This doesn't mean bad, it just means different. Uh, but apart from the tone, apart from other aspects of the film, I think that the whole final battle was really cool. I'm glad they had some kind of cure to, like, you know, bring more conviction with the movie in terms of, you know, the mutants and what they feel. Will someone take the cure? Will someone not take it? Speaking of the cure is temporary. No wonder why Magneto and Rogue get their powers back. The whole Charles dying, him dying is, I feel like it's very convicting for the X-Men, because if he dies, it's like a big plot point for all mutants, you know? And Jean dying had to happen, but even Charles died in that one X-Men game, and the whole him taking his conscience, going into another body, is just okay, but okay. I'm confused, but okay. That's my reaction. Scott dying, you know, he had to freaking die because James Marsden had to freaking uh do he was in the Superman Returns movie, so that's why he had to cut his role short here to kill him off so he and Bryan Singer can focus on that movie. Understandable, even though for that movie they should have made Superman Returns afterwards and then let Bryan Singer focus on this movie. But woulda, shoulda, coulda. At least the movie's still good in my opinion. It's not bad. It's good, but not as good as the first two. I'll say that too. But yeah, like, make the tone a little bit more on the serious edge. And most of the characters dying, if James Marsden was in it more, because he wouldn't have to be in another movie, he could be around at the end and maybe be a character who had to maybe try to kill Jean, or still fall to Logan. But I still like the movie. Always have liked the movie, even though, to be fair, I saw most of these movies when I was a kid. When you see movies as a kid, it's like, you know, you're automatically gonna like it. If you see them as like a teenager or an adult for some movies, you're not gonna like it. So fair enough on that part. But I do feel like this movie is like, it's not X-Men Dark Phoenix. I personally don't like that movie, but this movie is good. Like, what the heck? Maybe Origins is a little bit iffy, but this movie, nah, I don't have much of a problem with it. A little quippy, okay. A lot of characters die, okay. Most of that had to happen. Some of the explanations on how they come back, how characters lose their powers and get it back, a little iffy, but okay, you do what you gotta do. And apart from that, that's pretty much it, you know. And oh, what am I doing? My chair is being loud again, but I like the movie. Always have, always will. Favorite scene was the forest fights, and it's kind of, I don't want to say ironic, I just don't like how this Wolverine fights in the forest in this movie and then dies in the forest in Logan. Let me not talk about that movie yet. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be sad too. But I always like this movie. Always have, always will. Thank you for watching. I said watching my movie review of X-Men: The Last Stand. It's been your boy MYC. Take care and peace.